Welcome to today's episode.
Hey there.
Today we are doing a deep dive into the 1953 Everest expedition, but probably not the part you're thinking of.
Right. Not the flag planting moment.
Exactly. We're looking at what happened after the triumph. We're focusing on the huge gap between the headline Everest conquered and the quiet reality of the descent.
But where the real story is, I think. We fixate on the summit. Yeah, that's the picture. But coming down is where the adrenaline just bottoms out.
And the danger spikes.
Oh, massively. You're exhausted, oxygen is low, and every step is a risk. And for them, that physical danger suddenly slams into this intense psychological moment.
Because you'd expect them to be talking about survival, right?
Of course. Oxygen levels, frostbite is a storm coming in, that sort of thing.
But instead, Hillary starts a conversation that is, it's purely about the narrative, about politics. They're still on the ice, but his head is already somewhere else.
He's a realist. He knows how the Western world works, how the press works. Even up there, he stops and he says to Tenzing, "The world will think I achieved this."
Wow.
He's terrified that the partnership that got them to the top is about to be completely erased by a single name in a headline.
And Tenzing's reaction is just, it's the total opposite of that anxiety.
No anger, no strategizing about his press agent, nothing like that. He just stops.
He pauses on the side of the mountain.
And he says what might be the most profound thing in the entire story. He says, "The truth doesn't matter."
The mountain knows.
The mountain knows. It's incredible. He's saying there are two histories being written at the same time.
There's the one for the newspapers, which is simple and maybe wrong.
And then there's the real one, the one the mountain saw. He has that truth, so he doesn't need the other one. And that's so important for what happens when they get down.
Right, because that quiet moment on the mountain gets thrown into sharp relief when they hit civilization again.
The contrast is just jarring. They go from the death zone, total isolation, just ice and wind.
Straight into the chaos of Kathmandu.
It's a sensory assault, sunset, heat, crowds, journalists shouting at them, flash bulbs going off in their snowblind eyes. It's just this total violation of the silence they just left.
And then, in the middle of all that noise, the newspaper appears.
And the headline is just so blunt in its simplicity.
Everest conquered.
Conquered. Such an aggressive, singular word, and the scene itself just reinforces it. You have Hillary front and center. He's the face of the conquest.
And Tenzing?
Tenzing is at the back. He's just standing there, silent. It's the physical version of exactly what Hillary feared on the mountain.
The partner fading into the background.
But there's a detail there that most people miss. If you look at Hillary, really watch him in that moment.
He isn't just soaking it all in.
Not at all. He looks at the cheering crowd, sure, but then he turns his head. He looks back at Tenzing.
That look, that's everything, isn't it?
It is. That's the bridge. It's Hillary acknowledging, silently, that the headline is a lie. That he remembers the conversation up there. He knows he didn't do it alone.
It's a moment of shared truth in the middle of a very public fiction.
It really shows how history just loves a simple story. One name is easier to print, easier to remember.
But summits are never about one name. They're crossed by two people, literal or not. You need the support, the partnership.
And Tenzing's silence in that crowd.
Yes.
It clicks right back to his wisdom on the descent. He doesn't need to fight to be in the photo.
Because the truth doesn't matter to the crowd.
He already has the only validation he needs. The mountain knows.
It really makes you question how we measure our own successes. We spend so much time chasing that headline, that public win.
When maybe the real value is in the climb itself, in the shared experience that no one else can see or really understand.
So here's a thought for you to take away. In your own life, when you hit one of your summits, a career goal, a personal achievement, whatever it is, how often do we just accept that single name story? When the applause starts,